welcome back to How You Slice It podcast. Our guest opened Nardo's Pizza in 2020, quickly making it a local favorite in St. Joseph's, Michigan. Featuring a Detroit-style pizza, of course, Nardo's is known for its creative, visual recipe approach and fun menu items like the Meat Wad, What Up Dough, and Yo Tito. These are all very fun creations that we'll cover. One pie even features crickets. I don't know if I want to try. I will have to try that, but I don't know if I want to try that. The vibe of Nardo's is also throwing back to the pizzerias I grew up with, including having a complete arcade. Nardo seems to have created a truly special pizzeria in his community. I'm excited for you to be here. Welcome, Nardo. It's so great having you on the show.
Right around. Thank you. It's pretty cool.
To get things going, I want to get into the creativity of your pizza. Like, talk a little bit more about the concept and, how you came up with the idea of creating such creative menu items. Tell me a little bit more about St. Joseph's, Michigan, and then I want to talk about crickets.
Okay. Oh well, I guess how it basically. So Southwest Michigan is a little corner. Some say it's a little behind the curve with the time. That being said, I'm living in this beautiful place, Southwest Michigan, that has lake. We're sitting on Lake Michigan, which is like living on the west coast of California, except no sharks, salt in the water and stuff like that. So, long story short, I come from a musical background, working in entertainment. So, when I was doing this pizza idea, instead of just calling it a Supreme or like a deluxe. And we're not reinventing the wheel with naming pizzas, but we just try to be creative and name stuff after local bands from Detroit or artists that I've known, like Black Joe Lewis, who's from Austin, Texas, which I lived there for a while, as well as LA. So just having, living all over the country and just trying foods and just seeing how things work everywhere, that kind of brought a little piece of here into Nardo's.
A collection of different places around the country that you spent time in, and you've kind of brought it all together into a menu. What made you get into pizza? By the way, I love the shirt, Peace, Love, and Pizza. But what made you get into pizza?
Okay, that's another crazy thing. So, I, as a kid, I worked at pizza places. I worked at Buddy's, which is known for the Detroit style pizza. I grew up working there. There was another place that made New York style pizzas, which we also make in our place, thin, big slices. And when I lived in LA, even working in entertainment, you need a job because, you're not making money in music right away, blah, blah, blah. So I was working in the culinary field, culinary artist for a little while. So I worked at Dino's Pizza in California. They taught me a lot of the business and, using high quality ingredients and the best of everything. So when I moved back to Michigan after 15, 20 years of being gone, I was doing street tacos, which I learned from Texas and in California. And so I had this friend that asked us to do a pop-up at his place when he was getting ready to open a pizza place. So we did that for a month while he was building his pizza place out. And unfortunately, during that time, he passed away. And then his other partner was like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here. Would you like to join forces with the pizza? So that being said, we joined forces. And we built this little cult following. And during that time, I took obviously, what I learned from, working in Michigan as a kid in pizza places, working from Dino's Pizza, and then all the creatives from being in entertainment and all that stuff. Just put it all into one, and the pizza just happened. And we did it in this little town of Broda that I've never heard of living in Michigan in my whole life. But apparently it's known as a little wine country. It's like Little Napa, but it's a little more country. So we started bringing a lot of people from far to come to this pizza stop, and then COVID came, and then we kind of dissolved that project. And then during while we're in the middle of COVID, around October, I got a call from the guy that's on these two restaurants downtown where we're currently located. I'm in the business of this place, and he's like, "Hey, we got this pizza oven. Do you still want to do pizza and start something up?" And I'm like, sure. What else are we doing? The country's still kind of closed down at this point. So that being said, so it's like, let's call it Nardo's. And so I kind of made it more me instead of just pizza. I kind of put a lot of myself into to the product, having good quality food and bringing retro arcade games like actually 40-year-old, 50-year-old pinball machines, like that coin operated, some from Germany. So we even have a live music venue in our spot. So we're trying to, it's a cool vibe. And we're about an hour and a half from Chicago driving, so 2 hours from Detroit. So we're like in a good spot, not too far from Indiana. So
One of the common themes that I hear all the time from successful operators and successful businesses is that they're not trying to be somebody else.
no.
Anytime I come across or meet a great operator with a successful business, what I constantly hear is that they definitely got inspired by different aspects of the industry, but at the end of the day, they created a business that is authentic and speaks to what you love and your passions, and then that comes across in the product and the experience, and that's what makes people really love it. But tell me, crickets, like how did we end up with crickets?
Yeah, well, speaking of what you just finished up, people have said that yeah, our product does have soul, so it definitely makes a big point when people put their heart into it. Well, crickets came about as we've created over probably 157 pizzas, and which we call our secret menu pizzas that we actually only feature on the slice menu. So we posted on Instagram, hey, this pizza of the week. And as I get to the crickets, pizza, I go secret menu, but to only find the secret menu, you have to use the Slice app. So that's where we put our secret menu at. That being said, after creating so many, we're coming up to April's Fools. And I was like, well, let's create this pizza called like Buddy Holly and the Crickets. So I kept putting little hints out, like, Cricket Wireless. We're changing the name of the business to Cricket Wireless. And then on April's Fool, we said we got Buddy Holly and the Crickets. No one believed it. So, and then it's like, okay, fine. We sold two. Surprised us all. We got these roasted crickets, and then we roasted them in garlic. They're very edible. We get them from a food source. We're not out in our backyard picking these crickets up. So yeah, so then it ended up making our permanent menu. So it's called Buddy Holly. We obviously don't need to say the crickets if you read it. So that with a little Mike's honey, roasted tomatoes, and some fresh basil and caramelized onions. I mean, it's a delicious pizza, and it's also vegetarian friendly. So I mean, like, what more can you ask for with that one? So
All right, how many of these do you sell per week?
surprisingly, it took about 4 months for it to kick in, but I do about three or four, maybe five. But then, I mean, out of one of those, one might be Hold the Crickets. And that's kind of funny, when you get a ticket back there, it says no crickets. So it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty cool.
I've got to look at some slice orders for Nardo's to see how many customers say hold the crickets,
Yeah,
or better off, extra crickets.
that I have not had yet. So I have not had the extra. I'm waiting for that one. Or I'm waiting for someone to create your own and add crickets on, because it is part of our item. So yeah, we have 32 toppings, kind of like Baskin Robbins used to be, 32 flavors. So
There you go. How did you end up with Detroit style pizza? Um, I know you're bringing it's by the way an incredibly popular
yeah.
now, but it wasn't so popular probably even when you started. I'm sure it was a bit of a risk, but it is one of those styles of pizzas that is just thriving across different parts of the country. How did you land on Detroit style?
Well, see, on that one, see, we grew up eating that pizza, and as your kid, or like you're in Chicago, like, hey, let's order Chicago pizza. So we always called it a pan pizza or a red, sauce on top. So one of the things when we put this pizza place together that I did want to do something that I grew up with. Yes, it became a trendy thing. So on my menu, I call it a red top because I try not to ride the Detroit pizza wave. Because at the end of the day, it's pizza. Like, I mean, when I want a pizza, I ask for a pan or, a round pizza. So we just thought, it's a good pizza, good quality. I don't know how to describe it. It's a delicious pizza. Obviously, pizza places are calling themselves Detroit style pizza places. So, I'm riding the wave with it. It's very cool that it's happening, but I think even without the buzz, because I grew up with that pizza and it is a delicious pizza, I think I was just gonna have that anyway. And when I was at Broda, real quick, I did a round version of it because I didn't have the pans, so those were called round boys at the time, but built on the Detroit style sauce on top and caramelized cheese crust. So
I really, really like the creativity both in terms of naming, but also, and it's pretty clear sort of the visual aspects of it. I will have a plug. We've got the Slice of the Union address, which is a summary of all things pizza industry and what Slice sees from a data perspective. Last year's Slice of the Union predicted that pickles would be the most popular or fastest growing topping for pizza and pizza makers and consumers. Uh, Tell me a little bit more. You've got one that's quite special and it's very visual. Tell me more about your version of the pickle pizza.
See that's pretty cool because when I started that we called it the Little Dilly because it's like the dill, and it's like kind of after Little Dicky the rapper. So we did that for about 5 years. When I actually saw it before it became like the buzz thing, there was a place in Pennsylvania, I guess that actually started the thing. I believe I might be wrong, but like I sometimes you stay up late and you search YouTube and you just watch pizzas and it can take you all over the place. So we saw that it was like a cool thing and they dip it in ranch and so we kind of like no one's reinventing the wheel. I get inspired, influenced by many other creators out there, which is so. I mean, yeah. So we wrote that and then yeah, now that sells like pretty good too. Surprisingly, I mean, and we use good pickles too. I think it's about the pickle and the cheese and we try to make it more like a fried pickle more than just like a pickle pizza kind of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, the quality of the ingredients,
yeah.
of course, has a lot to do with it. Let's talk a little bit about community. You hinted earlier, you mentioned that you've got a space for performers. Tell me more about just your passion for community and what Nardo's means to the community you're operating in, and some of the things that you're doing to bring people together.
Well, a lot of things that we do, which is cool about pizza, because I would say pizza is the item that does bring people together because you're like, oh, this pizza's great, try a slice. You're not going to eat a burger and go, hey, man, this burger's good, try a bite, and start giving everybody bites of your burger. So, and it's also good, for parties. So since pizza is this thing bringing people together, we do like to join with a lot of other community leaders or other venues, the restaurants that don't serve pizza or farmers that we collaborate. So we do a lot of collaborating with the community, and we also work with the youth of today. Boys and Girls Club kids, and kids from inner city. We give them jobs for learning. Help them get some work experience. We do a lot of work experience programs with the state of Michigan and stuff like that. So we try to get back and get more into the community. And so as far as like the music and and as the venue, that's more of our give back because I try to bring artists that are not really playing in the small town, but we live off 94, so everybody who's playing in Chicago or Detroit or Indianapolis, they're literally driving by. So we've been fortunate to bring some good talent through as well as starting to mix in the local talent too. So.
Who is your favorite artist of all time?
Man, like right now, I would say it's this guy Lou Barlow. I mean, and he's in a group called Seminole Folk Implosion. They did the soundtrack for the movie Kids. I don't know if anybody remember that from the '90s, and the song called Natural One. But which was crazy in the '90s, I was looking up to this guy and I was like, oh, he recorded music a certain way, and then the years later to be friends with so. It's just how everything happens. It's a blessed life. But yeah, I would say him right now because if it wasn't for his music and stuff, I probably wouldn't be in the path I've gone. So if that makes sense.
That's incredible, and hopefully the next Lou Barlow will get their start at Nardo's, and at some point they'll be able to say, "Hey, in my early days, I played at
Well,
Nardo's," and that would be pretty
and
cool.
I've had that with some artists in the past. I've been lucky to work with talent that who have started in the basement who you now all seen on TV. So I mean,
Well, tell me more. Tell me more.
oh man, I would say, I mean, there's be like I said, I mentioned Black Joe Lewis. I mean, he's played on David Letterman. There's bands from Detroit. I mean, there's quite a few, but it's really like I said, that's more about the pizza now. But a lot of them, hopefully, they'll come through and play my venue. But like mostly, a lot of my friends from Austin, Texas, like Jonathan Terrell, who's become a popular country artist, and he's starting to rise more. You'll start hearing about him more lately soon. So.
Amazing. What's in the future for Nardos? You're in your fourth year, which is awesome. I can say with confidence that we really appreciate the partnership with Slice and on our platform, and we work with now 20,000 small business shops. You are one of the fastest growing, one of the locations that serves customers and has incredibly high customer retention rate. So these are all data points of like great experiences, and I can again confidently say you're one of the top shops in the country, and you're only 4 years in. Where are you 4 years from now?
Yeah, it's. I hope to still be, doing the same thing, and a lot of it requires that we're all hands on, and it's us you're dealing with when it comes to Nardo's Pizza. Whether it's the staff we have, we all know every position. We're all in this together. So long as we have our heart and soul in it, which I don't see why we wouldn't. I mean, it's day by day, man. I'm blessed to have this date here to be able to have people call and order a pizza on Slice at 6 in the morning and say, I want to pick up for 6:30 that night. That's a cool feeling right there. So, I mean, I don't know. We got endless possibilities. More Nardos or just one Nardos that's just a great Nardos to go to that people are traveling to from all over the place. Because we do have people that do pizza tours that drive and make mine one of the stops out of their Michigan stops when there's so many. I mean, we have 4,000 pizza shops in Michigan, and to be featured on a lot of lists is one of the great, along with like my friends at Michigan Trumbull or Pi Psi or Town Hall. I mean, there's so many pizza places I can name here, but like it's a blessing. So where I'm gonna be in 4 years, I hope we're still here. In what form?
Oh, you'll
Yeah.
definitely be there, and hopefully more Nardo locations to come if that's part of your ambition. You are investing in technology pretty aggressively, and you're one of the early adopters of any product Slice puts out there, including
Well, yeah.
our Slice Register product. How has that technology impacted your business?
I mean, I will say that speaking of the POS, watching that grow from like version 1.0, I think we're at 3 or 4 or something now. I mean, watching it grow, I mean, there's been a lot of pain part of it, but that's also the excitement to be a part of something that's growing and new, kind of like how Nardo's is. So when we, got the POS, we were like, oh, that's a weird, da, 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 but it's actually worked and fit in and made things smooth. I mean, there's a couple of things that, I would like to see, but that's going to come with timing, maybe employee management or reporting. But it seems like every time I get a feedback, I eventually start to see it. So, I mean, I apologize. Sometimes I get mad at your text, but like, I just want this thing to be
Oh no,
perfect.
don't apologize. We're growing together. We're growing together, and I think that feedback is very helpful. And that clip alone, even if it, at the very least, I will make sure that we play it at a company town hall so that the team that's working on Register, which is an amazing team, big team, kind of hears it from you that you're kind of they're growing with you and vice versa, which is pretty cool.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I feel like I could teach people this, I mean, I try to tell everybody, other pizza shops, I'm like, you guys should really get the Slice POS. And they're like, oh no, we like this company. We like this company. I go, but look what you're paying, And then people that do their own delivery, which we want to do in the future. And I'm like, you can have the same setup like a big chain where you can track your drivers. I mean, hopefully they'll start to believe more, but like, it is a great device, and I'm glad that it's here. And like I said, I mean, it's definitely helped me get started because a lot of them are a little out the price range for, especially someone that opened you the door on the first day. So that being said, I mean, I've been appreciative of the whole thing. So keep it up.
Appreciate
So,
that. Thank you so much. And that feedback is always helpful. And yeah, don't let up.
no,
Just keep on providing the feedback. It's been great chatting. This was an awesome experience getting to learn more about you and Nardo's, and I'm sure the pizza community that listens to the podcast will enjoy hearing more from you and getting that inspiration. Again, for me, the most important thing is creativity and authenticity, staying true to yourself, and making a product that you're proud of. And I think the one other thing that is new here that I've learned in this conversation is the willingness to take risks and do things that are, like the crickets on a pizza. Like, don't be afraid to take risks. Sometimes you'll never know where that takes you.
No, for sure. And to say onto that, like growing up, my mother said, "Why be normal, and to never be a robot." And her new thing is to screw fear. You know, you can put another word in front of the F word, but it's basically don't be afraid. I mean, we get one life on this earth. I mean, you might as well take the chance. Sure, don't jump into a pit of fire, but you know what I mean. If it looks clear, I mean, go for it. You never know. That's what I'm saying. You never know.
That is a great way to end the episode. Nardo, thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it.
It's been great to meet you. Great to put a face to the name, and look forward to more exchanges on Instagram.
Yeah, you still got to come by sometime. So
I absolutely will. I promise.
come in the summer. I'm telling you, you'll love the lake, and it's a great time.
I will.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.